hashtags.
Instagram or Facebook?
That's good.
It's Facebook on this one. We're gonna do both. We're gonna do it all.
I'm gonna go Facebook.
What you finna do right now, Kato? Kato, you gonna get some IG footage?
Yeah, I'm gonna do IG.
Hey! Go ahead, this guy. There we go.
Here it is. The crew slightly trash.
You know, it's crazy. In August, Rakim doing shows down here, and Jesse Jeff is DJ for the tour.
All right. Love you.
Sure.
Here it is. The crew slightly trash.
Carol's in the house. What's up, gorgeous? How you doing tonight, beautiful queen? Good. You're looking gorgeous. Gorgeous. Just to show y'all real quick.
Out of control.
What's up, Meg? How you doing?
What kind of way?
You ready to knock it down to the ground?
You already know.
Top dog in the house.
Ain't broke, then don't try to fix it.
Being there working like Hebrew slaves, baby.
He said,
Y'all
y'all got one more man, Kato, over here in the corner, ladies and gentlemen. All the way there. How you doing?
Smoke a lot radio certified, digital soapbox. We done been in like the bounce this bathroom, California. You ain't saying stick gang, and we ain't got to prove shit.
And this handsome gentleman over in his house.
Exactly. In the house, you know, Doc Ford is trying to get working.
Right? Resign.
We're gonna do this interview, man.
Million views.
Open up this gangbanging documentary, Stick Gang.
Right there, right.
The gang's all here, we sipping on beer. Niggas show up loud and clear, but niggas you fear. Loose.
Coming like a flag. Okay, guys, we're gonna get ready to go. We got you.
Say like, let's get on this educated truck
Is that one on? Is this rolling or do I need to do anything with that one? No, it's good. Rashi got us.
She turned around to see what she
This is
peeping
a
at.
working machine. We're good? Okay. Pass me the test, y'all. We'll pick back a little more. Hey guys, Saturday night, Poetry and Justice Show with Jackie Ray Phillips. Yikesradio.com. Ladies and gentlemen, we got Stick Gang in the house. Abundance. God says that He said He will give it to you, right? It says life and abundance to the full, to the other
Oh,
side.
you can't hear me?
Right now, here in the Poetry and Justice Show, Jackie Ray Phillips, what's up, you two? We living in an overflow. I got the beautiful Felicia here. Ain't gonna go on ahead. We gonna tag some more people. We got this party. Yeah. Y'all ready? Here we go. Garrett,
Yes, ma'am.
did you need your mother headphones or you saw it?
That's cool.
You sure?
I got some. I left mine at the hotel. I'm good.
We good, everybody. Y'all
I'm a
ready?
simple man.
I'm gonna take this gum out for you.
Spark up nostalgia. Can you suckers hear me now?
Fried turkey.
They got Stockholm
Can you
syndrome.
hear
They
me?
look
Got
like
Stockholm?
They said they got Stockholm too.
They talking about smooth down this. Can you hear me now, Sweetwater?
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Thank you. Chilling in the car, sitting all day waxing.
Good looking, y'all. That's what I'm saying. Iron
Shooting
sharpens
out
iron.
hours. Everybody sees you.
What up?
Hey y'all, it's DOJ time. Saturday night. Don't want to miss this one. Summertime. It's the start of summertime. Oh, forgot about that. So if I get back and unwind. I forgot about this one. This is our summer kickoff show. Don't you sit back and unwind.
Too loud. Turn it down. Good.
Summertime. Time to get back and unwind. Summertime. Time
Stick
to
Gang.
get back and unwind.
You know what it is.
All right, Jackie, you ready?
Go up.
All right, here we go. 3, 2.
Yikesradio, ladies and gentlemen. Poetry and Justice Show. Jackie Ray Phillips. We about to go live, y'all.
STICKGANG.net. Here on the Poetry of Justice Show, this is where social consciousness meets the arts. And what we do is we select topics that spark the interest and awareness of social diversity, ranging from arts, entertainment, and social justice at large, leaving our listeners thinking and saying, sissy, yikes. Ladies and gentlemen, those are the sultry sounds of my mentor, the Mr. Kevin Nash. Mr. Kevin Nash is the owner of this proprietorship here at Yikesradio.com. And thank you, Rashid. What I always love to do is give a very special shout out to Mr. Kevin Nash, because if it were not for Kevin Nash's dream, right, it would be impossible for me to do what I so love to do here, guys, on the Poetry of Justice Show here on Yikesradio.com. Lloyd, I'm going to just explain to everybody what's going on for the month of May, guys. This is our 4th year with Kevin Nash here on Yikesradio.com.
Congratulations.
You guys know you can radio, Inglewood, LA, Cali, Kevin Nash, ladies and gentlemen. So I do respect and I adore that cat. So I just want to give him a little special love. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go on ahead and give it over to my beautiful, amazing sister, ladies and gentlemen, my sponsorship. This is Miss Lori Ray Fisher of Ginger Productions and Entertainment Companies, ladies and gentlemen. She is also the benefactor of this show, ladies and gentlemen. So this is the money bags over here, Fat Rat. You know what I'm saying? So she helps us out here. So I appreciate you, sister, so much and love you daily. Ladies and gentlemen, I also want to give a very special shout out to our other sponsorship. That's G Babies Catering, ladies and gentlemen. GBABBIES Catering, ladies and gentlemen. That LLC, I want you to look up Chef Mac. That is my nephew, guys, and he's on the grind, so you can check him out on Instagram. G Babies Catering LLC, ladies and gentlemen. And then I'm going to move on down the trough. I'm going to give a very special shout out to WMPJ Steelworks. We call this guy the Man of Steel here on the Poetry of Justice Show. He helps to keep this engine running too, ladies and gentlemen. So we want to give a very special shout out. And then also, guys, I just want to give another very special shout out to APS Muscle Cars, ladies and gentlemen. If you're looking for maybe a hot rod restoration, or you maybe want to do something with your low riders or your motorcycles, Harley Davidsons, whatever you might have. So there's a really cool storage facility in Inglewood, California. So if you guys wanted to check that out, I want you to take a look at www.apsmusclecars.com. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's Saturday night. Poetry of Justice Show, and we are super blessed. I've got some amazing talent in the house tonight. But without being like too extra, I was just wondering, like, is it too soon in the relationships? I always call you Stick-Gang, but I know I need to call you Legs. I think you should just consider. I'd like to put a proposal on the table. Like, when I was a little kid, I grew up in the city of Compton, right? And I went to a little school called Dickinson Elementary, right? And at the school, what we would do is, like, if you kind of like somebody, the boy like you, or you like the girl, or whatever, you take a little piece of paper and you kind of write, like, do you want to go with me? Will you be my friend? Give it to him on the playground. You remember that, Lori? I know, because you always had a lot of pockets full of those. I know that's not true. We're not going to bring that part into the show.
That's how you going to do, Lori?
Absolutely not.
Disclaimer.
I was just wondering, you should consider being a sponsor of the Poetry of Justice Show. Wouldn't STICKGANG and the Poetry of Justice Show sponsorship have something? What do you think? You should consider it.
Let's do it.
Talk it over with Big Daddy over here.
Let's do it.
That's the boss right there.
That's boss
Let's
man?
do
Yeah,
it.
no.
Sometimes.
Well, actually, let me.
I'm just the oldest.
Let me.
That's about it. But
Let me
we
correct
all,
that.
when it comes to this, that's the
is the
problem
boss.
with, that's not saying ain't no bosses. Nobody ain't no boss because we all equal at the end of the day. One just got a little more money than the next, but we all bosses because we all got a mind of our own.
I'm gonna say this though, because you have to give credit where credit is due. And this, oh, I'm sorry about that. You have to give credit where credit is due, and STICKGANG is really, it was really created, founded by this gentleman right here, and I believe one more gentleman, who is actually, this is their child that they brought. I'm glad I could be a part of the movement. I try to bring to the table what I can bring to the table. It's just a group of talented people, producers, artists, comedians, and we're just trying to, you know, make a difference, make a little bit of noise.
What'd you say, class? You ain't making no noise?
I ain't making no
You
noise
ain't making no noise?
until necessary.
I saw that grill though. That grill was making a gang of noise,
Right.
like sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na.
I be lightweight playing sometimes, you know.
Yeah. Hey, can
You
I
gotta come
say
out.
one thing? real
Yes,
quick?
sir. Of course, this is all about you, sir.
You know, we over here, we're gonna give flowers before they die, right?
Yes, sir.
Kato got an award tonight.
Yes, sir.
Amen.
Oh,
We got Kato in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
we're gonna let him tell y'all.
Yeah.
I'm at the end of the day, it's about, not about me, him, her. It's about all of us with this project. So before we move, I want him to tell the world his award he won that he worked for. Because too many of them been forgotten, and when they're dead and gone, then everybody wants to put them on a t-shirt and go get a flower. We're gonna do that today.
You better match their shoes with it if they do get their ball cap. But yeah, I had just got informed earlier, which was a blessing to me to be nominated or recognized for any type of stuff. But guess I got best documentary on Wiggin Out Radio.
All right, congratulations.
Means a lot to me because you
Amazing.
know my history and my homework and how long I've been rocking and rolling. You know what I'm saying? Just any recognition from your peers in this competitive type of game, and it's not even for music. It's not for no certain project. It's for me just basically telling people about my life and a lot of stuff that people didn't know about, the layers. You know what I'm saying? So I was just,
Congratulations.
I'm kind of happy that the mother of a gang.
That's right.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
And we get to talk
Thank you.
about it here in Poetry Justice shows how blessed are we. Kato, I have a question for you, sir.
Yes.
What do you think about angel numbers?
Angel numbers?
Yes.
I'm not really knowledgeable on angel numbers.
What about, I'm just kind of
Put
wondering.
me up on game.
Yeah, sometimes you may start seeing numbers that come to you sequentially. So let's say, for instance, when you're on the clock, or you might see a sequence of numbers, what we did here tonight, you might see 555, or you might start seeing like a 444, or 333, or 123, or something to that regard. And like my mom used to say, the old folks say, sometimes that's the angel speaking to you, they're trying to get your attention. And I'm just going to state that for the last time you all blessed us to your Poetry Justice show. That was on March 27th, and that's when I met you for the very first time. We came down with Derek, and we were blessed. And at that moment, I began to follow you. Just the progression that I have seen of your career, just in the last, 2.5 months, has been just mind-boggling. So I was just wondering about them with the angel numbers, but whether, irregardless of that, there's clearly, obviously, you're a good guy, and the angels and the spirit of the living God and the universe and all of those powerful sources, I do believe are right behind you and lifting you up higher and higher. So I just have seen it, and I just want to say thank you again for being so candid, and I believe part of your humility, in my opinion, is one of the other things that carries you. So I've been watching you, you are an inspiration, so I just want to thank you.
Appreciate you guys. You ain't got me over here blushing like Santa Claus getting cookies on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, you know, for a person like myself, you know, I'm always trying to grind and hustle and just watching Stick Gang, and I know you're going to give us more about it, legs, and the gentleman to your left as well. When I watch what you gentlemen are doing and the movement and the ladies are part of it, again, it's astounding, and it's something that you kind of just want to be a part of. You see it, and you see black people and people that look like us and people that culturally, and it's not necessarily just about our skin tone, it's about the culture, because it's a culture. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What we do, the rap and the hip hop and our language and who we are as a people, as a nation. You see what I'm saying? I think it's more about, I think of the nation of Islam, if you will. It's not necessarily about our skin tone, it's about our belief systems, and it's about our culture, and it's about our hearts, and it's about our spirits, and what we are willing to do for the next man and our fellow man. And I know I've been blessed by all of you here today, so I just wanted to take the time to say thank you.
We appreciate it. Thank
Turn the
you.
mic over to you, lady. You can take over and introduce anyone you choose, and Lori and I talk about it. Yes, sir.
You know, when my guy that do our posters called, he said, Send me the pictures of everybody that's gonna be on the flyer. We all coming. It ain't no just one person. We all coming. You know what I mean? That's the problem. When we was coming up, remember groups? Everybody wanna go solo now.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? So
Everybody wants to be a team anymore.
exactly. So we changing that. You know, we ain't changing it just in California. We're gonna go to Louisiana. 8 Ward Seabrooks with it. We're gonna go to Washington with my other partner Biz. We're gonna go to Ohio with Geach. You're gonna go to Texas. You're gonna go to Miami. We everywhere. And it's been, the work been put in. You know, so don't be surprised. And like I said on the new single, we the New West. All right, so I mean, this project pretty much I had it on my mind for a few years because I'm originally from California, so I can talk about it.
What part of California?
I lived in Compton. I went to Crenshaw. I went to Horace Mann. You know what I'm saying?
Did you go to school in Compton?
I went to Compton for summer school one time. Yeah.
I know.
You know, bro.
Dad went to Compton High School just in case.
That's right.
Yes,
You know, I sat on it and sat on it and sat on it. And so one day, I went to E40 premiere, one of the movies they did with Snoop. Q-Bone was like, come out here, we're gonna go. We went to that, he introduced me to Fat Rat. So we chopped it up here and there, here and there, here and there. Well, Q-Bone is from the same hood my whole family from. Right, so I respect that. He is looking to him, I respect everybody. So, you know, also know we talk. I didn't even tell nobody on my team because I wanted to do something that just started and then come to the team, you know, because something I feel like I had to do. And so, but when I started it, I was saying, I'm not finna go to no managers, not going to no record labels, not finna do none of that. I ain't never banged, but you got the artists that's out there today that started off banging. And don't get me wrong, I'm not glorifying it, because I never banged. But you know that you get put on the hood, you can't never take off. So you made that choice, right? So I made a choice never to bang. I was raised around Crips, but I got Bloods in the family too. So I feel that if Fat Rat got a homie that's from 30s that's got a hot album out now, he didn't got rich, he shouldn't have to go to the manager and talk to him. He shouldn't have to go to the label because they still from the same hood. All that's been changed. All that's is getting watered down to where now there's so much stuff going on with it, right? So I said, you know what? It's time to talk about it, and it's time to go about it the right way, meaning that you still got Crips and Bloods at the top of the food chain that's in the game today that forgot about some of these cats that been still in the streets putting in the work with the music and for the hood that they forgot about. When you was running to the hood for help, you didn't have no problem with it. You don't go to hood meetings no more because you're rich, but that don't matter to me because I chose not to bang. They should have chose like I did. Because these guys, and again, we're not glorifying it, but it's a culture of California. If you don't like it, we can't stop it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel it was time to change how it's being portrayed for one, that they just not killers.
Right.
All of them have a different story. So instead of us always putting up something about gangs, killing him, killing her, killing them, that's old now. We know why they doing it. So let's go to the ones that, yeah, they bang, they done been to prison, they done put all the work, but now their lives changed. Now they're successful, right? What happened to trying to figure that out instead of everything else? So I hear Fat Rat one day, I was like, hey man, I got this idea. You know what it is? I said, I want to do a documentary. I told him the title, Welcome to LA, Music and Gangbang. He said, what you mean? I said, well, a whole lot of LA gang members is doing music now. And you know, now gangbang is worldwide. So where, remember, when we was coming up, we wasn't but Jerry Curl wearing faggots. The women wasn't chicks that wore fake hair. But worldwide now, we doing everything California do. You know, so I'm looking at it to where now, and I feel like California lost a lot of respect because they come in like, period, because you think about it, you couldn't just come in California at one time and do what you wanted to do, right?
Okay.
Y'all, right or wrong?
Right.
They doing what they want now, right?
Pretty much.
And not saying, or they need to check in, I'm not saying that. I'm saying when dope hit the streets, when record labels wasn't signing nobody, you had the neighborhood dope that had to go get some money to put these guys out, put money in their pocket, right? So what they did, they took it to other states, to where now when they go to the states, they leave little homies there and they got Bloods and Crips in every state now. But I don't think nobody ever thought about why every state has banging now. They think because, oh, that's where it's from. No, that's not how it started. You feel me? So the guy went to Fast, told him, he was like, yeah, just let me know when you're ready to do it. So some months went by, we chop it up here and there. He digging the music I'm putting out, he's seeing it. And so I said, I'm ready. He was like, what you need me to do? I said, first we're gonna start here. We started with one person. And mind you, I was supposed to drop it this summer. And one phone call he made, then he made another phone call, so I stopped there. And got some more calls. I did the promo. The promo, I dropped 6:30 in the morning, went to sleep. I woke up here, blew my phone up. I was like, what's up? Man, they calling me. That's what you mean. They call everybody want to be a part of it. I was like, I said, man, I knew it. I said, because they're tired of seeing the same people on TV. And I'm not talking shit. Ask the street, shit. Everybody goes from the street, they say, right? Yeah. So go to the street and ask the street. Again, I'm not talking about nobody specifically. I'm reaching out to industry cats that started in the street banging to say, we're gonna help y'all push this. Y'all push everything else. Why not help push something positive? I'm not saying stop Crippin' and Blood. That will never happen. But I feel Bloods and Crips can say, don't disrespect me, I won't disrespect you. And we can go ahead and get some of this hip hop money. Because there's too much talent in California to where they still struggling. The South, once they start going, you gotta catch up to them. Y'all, we didn't see Texas come, Louisiana come, Tennessee, all come when they want to because they stick together. You know what I'm saying? California just, they don't stick together.
Why do you think that is?
Eagles. You know, it's sad. At the end of the day, it's real sad because there's too much money in California to where, Farrell, you work for Sony, right?
Yes, sir.
Kato, you up on platinum albums and shit? Where your plaque? See? Ask him where's the plaque at. This is what I'm saying. He's supposed to have a plaque, right?
Right.
Why is that? So,
I'm supposed to have two.
see,
Right.
Two.
where they at? You feel me?
Two.
So, I'm coming to the table and saying we're gonna eat together. Me and my cousin, we've been doing music since 1990. Non-stop. We went to the Bay though. We didn't come to LA because it's politics. He went to New Orleans, we were going back and forth like that. Time just passed, you know, things happen in between, but we've been doing music. You know, we done met a whole lot of folks. You know, it's time for us to change the narrative.
Right.
And it's time for Fat Rat, Kato, Dyer,
Squeak Crew,
Squeak,
Tweed,
Tweed, June Dog, RBX,
Bronco,
Cocaine, 187.
RBX,
Come on.
Bronco.
We can keep going, Bronco. We can keep going.
Mafia Mind.
Why nobody came back and said, we're gonna grab all these cats and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna try this, right?
Right.
By the way, Bronco and June Dog got that same gang out. Go.
Same team.
Same team. I hear some wax white
Red
gang.
and blue man.
You know, so, same team. One is a Blood, one is a Crip. You can't stop it. You know what I'm saying? We're not making nobody do it. We're reaching a hand, putting a hand out and say, come on, let's try to do this and bring California together. Because right now I'm doing California and Sacramento because they don't really clash. The Bay is after. I'm gonna do Welcome to the Bay. The Bay sits different than everybody else. You feel me? So I'm gonna do them. Then we're going with my partner out there in Washington, Cause they got Bloods and Crips, I think they got their own.
Okay.
I'm starting here because this is where it started at, you know what I mean? It's a big project. I was gonna drop it this summer, I couldn't, it got so big, I'm dropping it New Year's Day to where everybody going out that night, so they're gonna be tired the next day, so they're gonna watch it.
I know, I can't wait.
You feel me?
And you know, I just wanted to say two things. When you start talking about gang culture, right? People have to understand that gang culture, the term gang, has been turned into something like it's just a bunch of evil people running around, robbing, killing, and stealing. But you have to remember that Crip started from the Black Panthers. It was a community revolution in progress. Is what Crip meant. And it wasn't about robbing, stealing, and killing. It was about protecting our neighborhoods, protecting our section, our community, from the white man, from the police, and whoever else that wanted to come over here and try to harm our folks. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with Bloods. Brotherly love overriding oppression and destruction of society. A lot of Bloods don't even know that's what that means. A lot of Crips don't know that because they haven't been taught what it is that they represent. The narrative has changed because you have a lot of people that saying they Bloods or they Crips, but they don't understand the history. You should never represent something that you don't know the foundation, the history, and where it came from. You know what I mean? You just joining up with something. Now it's all over the place. When I was coming up, there were certain things you couldn't do. If you seen a dude who was your enemy, and he was with his girl and his kids, he's now off limits. You're not gonna harm that woman and that kid. You might give him that look like, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But it's just certain things you could not do because your own homies would do something to you. It wasn't about destroying our community, it was about uplifting our community. So I say that to say my reason for being involved is for the first thing is that I like the fact that everything we do, we document it. The same thing Nipsey did. We're gonna show you the recipe. We're gonna show you from beginning to end how this is done. We're not gonna hide nothing from anybody because us hiding things is not gonna stop our success. You know what I'm saying? It's about opening doors for other people and you can see. We want to see this unity, so we want to bring together people that every hood respects. We've all walked prison yards together, we've been on these streets together, so we want to bring people to the table that Bloods and Crips, these young dudes are going to respect. And when you see them come together, it's going to start to make sense. They're going to start to realize that what they're doing is, because now it's not what we came up on. This what's going on now is not gang banging per se. You know what I mean? It's just a bunch of young kids on high and drugs, on drunk and high, and just doing a bunch of weird stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's not what we grew up doing. Plus, it was a different time. It was more political then. We didn't have a lot of opportunities. When I was in school, we didn't have windows. You had typewriting class, home ec, or wood shop. If you didn't play sports, it was the dope game. You know what I mean? Now you can go online and get any job you want. You can go to college online. You got so many opportunities now that it doesn't make sense for kids to get involved with something like that. Now, why would you do it? We did it for a reason. You know what I mean? And we didn't look at our homies as gangs. Our mothers know each other. You know what I mean? His mother babysitted me. We were kids. We grew up together. These are our comrades, our friends. You know what I'm saying? We just all represent the same section of Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? So that to me, that narrative needs to change because that's not where it came from. The truth should be told so people can understand what it is that we represent. Because what's going on now, I don't represent. That's not my thing. You know what I mean?
What are you thinking, Laura G?
I am thinking that this is an incredible project to get together to tell something positive, right? I mean, as you know, Jackie speaks often of the fact that we grew up in the city of Compton, right? And all of the publicity that we get around that city is things that are negative. But there are positive things that come out of Compton, right? And we're not exceptions. That's the thing that really, really gets under my skin. Because when I meet people, oh, you're the exception. No, I'm the rule. And that's what we have to tell. That's why I'm so excited about the project that you guys are doing. That it's person after person after person that validates the fact that this is the rule, right? And we're not a bunch of animals that are running around, just wreaking havoc and causing destruction. Even those things that look destructive, right? Just as you said, they have a story behind it.
story.
Right. When I grew up, you know, in Compton, gangbanging was a survival technique as well, right? Because if you lived on one end of town and you had to get to Compton High to go to school, and rest in peace, our brother Keith, you was fighting your whole way there, you know? And if you didn't have any allies, you may not get through, right? You may not get through and back. So a lot of people that don't understand that, right? And the media hype is just horrible. I think the worst thing is to leave this country and turn on the TV in another country.
To piggyback what off you saying as far as how the media controls this, people of integrity are not praised or recognized or put at the forefront of the energy that drives what these streets and these communities and these ghettos all over America really represent. They praise things that are controlled, monetary people with the money in their ear, the this, the that, the Gucci belt, the whoopty-whoop, which is all that's dope to have, but then other than people that's dead, nobody alive with integrity is put at the forefront for these youngsters to look at as an example. So their example shouldn't always be Nipsey,
Right,
Tupac,
right.
Malcolm X. They're all gone. But it's some brothers out here with integrity that's pushing movements and pushing messages and pushing the energy that's just like them, but they won't get a run at their message being seen by the masses because of the fear of somebody becoming another brother like that. So when you take brothers like Nipsey and brothers so young, and then you do it in broad daylight, and you do these people die in front of everybody for shock value, you have the next youngster saying, well, I don't want to be that. So I'm going to just fall in line with whatever's working. And if whatever's working is being obedient and meek-minded, then that's what I'm going to do, because I'm probably going to get killed if I speak what I really feel. And that's what they have embedded so much in the soul of our youth, that they're scared to be themselves.
But that is our history, isn't it?
It is.
That's the legacy story.
Just
of the
different
black
ingredients,
man
same
in
spaghetti.
America, isn't
Same
it?
spaghetti. It's
Way
turkey
back
meat
in
and
the
beef.
1600s,
Beef,
right?
Because you're looking at a group of men here right now. You have to remember, when we were kids, what did they tell us? We wouldn't make it to 18. Then they said we wouldn't make it to 21. Then they said we wouldn't make it to 25. And now here we are, almost 50 years old, and we are actually a success story. You know what I mean? This man,
But they don't want that told.
No,
They
they
don't
don't.
want that
They don't.
story to be celebrated.
No, they don't never want the trying. I mean, 400 years of slavery, and we still here thriving.
Right.
There's no other race of people on this planet that could survive 400, 500 years of slavery and still thrive. We create culture. You know what I mean? Everybody is doing what we do. Everybody wear Converse now, Cortez. Everybody got their pants hanging off their butt. Everybody got white t-shirts on now. We create culture. They talk like us, they act like us, but they hate us. I watched these two black dudes on Instagram pull up next to a white dude in Miami, Florida. Kept calling him nigger, 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 and then he said, listen to what he's playing. And he's playing Tupac in his culture.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? You hate us, but you love our
The
culture.
culture, that's the part, that's the part.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So we need to tell more of these success stories. This man been shot 3 or 4 different times. You know, I also done lots of time in prison. You know, we've came through a lot of things that they said we would never make it through. You know what I mean? And we're still out here thriving and creating and being positive people in the community. You know what I mean? So those are the things that need to be told. We can all come from whatever our background is, but that doesn't determine what type of person you're going to be. You know what I mean?
They want it to fit their narrative, though.
There you go. They want it to fit their narrative, right? Because through that narrative, they continue to control you, right? And through that control comes financial and monetary gain.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely.
Because with this documentary, we hoping to change that.
When
Because
Nipsey got
it's
killed.
gonna have such an impact. You know, it went from just to be a few people to now probably like a 5-6 part series. We have so many, and it's still people calling. And we only have till like August 1st to get all these interviews done. It's like almost impossible. Now we were told that Big U wanted to be involved with it.
No, not that he wanted to, they called me, they doing a project, and I was like, hold up, that's a gang member going by land to do something big in hip hop, right?
Right,
So I said, and it's, Malik hit me,
right.
and they out there, Malik got what, like 10, 15, 20
Mhm.
acres. And I'm talking to him, I said, hold up. Because remember, I want, not that we didn't want Big U, is that those are the
Just
same
wanted
ones on
something
TV.
different. Yeah, we wanted
Cause
something
everybody, not that we
Not
didn't
the
want
same.
them, It's just that, you know, everybody see Big U, everybody see Snoop, everybody see, not to say we don't want them aboard, but I started with the cats that's still in the streets, but and still trying to climb the yeah, exactly. That's
The
Unsung
Tweet
hero.
Cadillacs of the world.
it's Tweet, hey man, you know what? I mean,
Who are
listen.
actually accomplished men, who are actually still in the community. That makes a big difference too. Like you said, getting rich and leaving, you know, that's cool. I don't knock that.
No.
You know, because some people need to get rich and leave. Some people do, but let's salute the people who chose to get rich and stay. That's the terrible thing with Nipsey. Nipsey chose to get rich and stay. But look at his own people. You know what I'm saying? When you try to put your people in a situation, you know how many jobs that man gave people when he was here? You know what I'm saying? It's like hundreds of jobs. I think it's like 400 or 500 people that Nipsey employed that don't have a job. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of, you know, this country we live in, man, it's kind of, everything's been designed that way. You know what I mean? But at the same time, you can't have good without bad. You know what I'm saying? Everything, my grandmother always told me, everybody you meet in life is a blessing or a lesson. Some people are both. You know what I mean? So everything that happens, we have to look at it and learn from good or bad. In relationships, when you get out of a relationship, sometimes, you know, it's easy to say what you don't like about that person, but sometimes you gotta think about what that person said they didn't like about you.
Right.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So everything we see is a lesson for us to learn something from. Unfortunately, him losing his life was a lesson for a lot of people. I hope it woke a lot of these youngsters up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, remember we went to see Tweet, man? The craziest part of that whole interview is that when he found out how far I drove for that interview, but and my response was, you one of the G's in the gang, you deserve it. You know, that's the problem. The West has forgotten a lot of the cats that put the West up there to where they was at.
Right.
Tweet was one of them. He was on side of Eazy-E. And I don't care what they say. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna mean it. I think he was one of the G's, my nigga.
Yeah.
Oh, without a doubt. That was a very Gordy of rap
You
music.
couldn't, and you know, we was talking the other day. He said, you ever notice Eazy never went on that banging his hood. You knew he was from, but you never knew where because he didn't get. It was all business.
Right.
You feel me?
Right.
But that interview when I sat with him and he got to talking to us and giving us the history, and it was like cool because why am I doing this years later? Why hip hop ain't doing it?
Right.
You feel me?
You are the hip-hop.
And that's we had to come from out of the rock because that's what they got us at. We climbing out, they don't like it either.
You know what I think about? I think about legs, and sometimes I just think about flowers growing out of cement and concrete.
From
So you
concrete.
have to go through that struggle, and you have to feel that pain. Because think about it, it's the struggle and the pain that makes us so much more great.
Right.
And that talent, you know what I'm saying? When you get to a point where nobody, you be like, I'm not gonna let that stop me. I don't care what it is, I don't care how horrible it is. And what ends up happening is when we come out of that trauma, right? For me at least, it just gives you, I think, a little bit more courage. Because when you come through the trauma and you realize you made it through, and you realize that you are a survivor of whatever that situation is, you know, at least for me, it kind of gives you a little bit more power. Kind of gives you a little bit more fuel to go and to keep going. I know, for instance, here with the show, you know, I've gotten so many different reviews and ideas of what I should do and what I shouldn't do over the last 4 or 5 years. But I gotta go with the spirit tells me to do, what the energy tells me to do, and anybody. And one thing that I had to give another shout out to Mr. Tweet Cadillac, I had a chance. It's been a year. He interviewed me on his show last year, June 4th. But one thing that I learned from Tweet, Derek and Legs, is that he always tell you to go behind the music. Don't just listen to the hit. Don't just listen to, no matter who the artist is. Don't just listen to what the radio, like you're saying, Legs, what the radio plays. Go and really listen to their music. Get into the crates. Listen to the songs that didn't get the airtime. And those are where the gems are. Those are where the diamonds are.
And that's a lot of the big problem, like you said, as far as people try to give you all type of advice on your content, but the originality is what makes the content. We let the machine control our content. That's why our message and the method to our madness is being lost in the shuffle, so they can look at stereotypical shit and judge the whole movement and the soul of the movement rather than our content representing what our motherfucking mission is. and we've letting the machine control the content. I had Split Star on Smoke a Lot the other day, and we asked him what was wrong with New York hip hop. Everybody sounding like, they're sounding like the South.
Right.
Everybody sounded these because we're letting the machine tell them. When you go in the studio now, a record label will tell you, I need a mustard sounding beat. Well, nigga, I'm not mustard. I'm not barbecue sauce or ketchup. Okay, though.
For sure.
But what
for
got
sure.
me here had to been working to get in this office.
part.
But I can't do that no more
Right.
because the machine wants what the money's going to generate. So the content is controlled by monetary souls, not nothing of structure, of message, of anything that's going to empower, because that ain't the point no more. Hip hop was formed on getting ours off, showing y'all what we going through. Everything we go through ain't negative. That's why you had hip hop, rap, and different genres, because it wasn't no right or wrong answers. It was just whack or bomb.
Right.
Wasn't no right or wrong.
They lying to them now. They tell everything
Now
sounds
it's a
good.
machine, because I can sit there right now. The kids come out with an album every 30 days.
Right?
The albums lasted 3-4 years back in the day because it was content.
Can we
And
talk
you want to
about
sit on it,
Tulo?
and you want to sit on it and milk on it.
How hard it was to cut a record back then?
Yeah.
Like, technology-wise, didn't matter how much money you had. An engineer
Couldn't
wasn't
do it
gonna
at
record
home.
you if you were whack. It was, you were literally cutting a record. You weren't on a laptop. You weren't on a disc, like Tweed, Touch, Easy, all these things we put in the game, Trey. It was tough to cut a record. Wasn't no punch-ins. You're literally the cutting room floor.
You had
So
to
you
actually
couldn't
rap.
just be an amateur with the following. The technology didn't support that back then.
So
So
what
I
I'm-
think it's important, yeah, that's what I'm
So
saying.
what I'm saying is, until us brothers that got the real money come together to get our own little machine, we're gonna always fall victim to Big Brother. Because we're not gonna monetarily be able to chase them, but we can take our content back and start giving them so much access to the motherfucking shit and control our own shit. But, you know, what's the odds of that coming together as far as hip hop, because so much money involved. No youngster really wants to hear that shit when I can just give you a earphone, armband full of bread and tell you do this, or tell you wait a couple of years and let's own our masters and get that shit back, and then boom, boom, boom. The average motherfucker's attention span ain't trying to hear that shit. Of the new generation, rather.
And for those, cause they see gang, this is what we're gonna leave it. It's where we say this all the time. We real niggas sticking together at the end of the day. We ain't gonna break that. We trying to get rid of all the fake. You know, fake is the new real now. For some given reason. You can tell anybody anything and they run off with it and they believe it. But you tell them something that's for real, they look at you sideways. You know, so cause you know, as soon as they see gang, their mind start going.
Because if they gonna erase history, then who the fuck is controlling what's real?
Come on, man.
I give you a new real, a brand new heavy.
Right.
You know, gentlemen, I have a couple questions. One question is what sparked what you said about original content, right? So I'm really interested in your ideas about how has social media and the ability to generate as well as distribute original content change the game positively or negatively?
We wanna go first? Let me get this off. For one, at one time, content was really based on what the fuck you're actually looking at and seeing, not an algorithm. So it's all about what's popular, what's popping, what's gonna make these motherfucking hits, likes, loves. You notice right now, everything that you don't look at has the most value. Airbnb, Uber. You don't have to have an actual CD to have an album out. Nothing you looking at has to actually exist to manifest itself. So therefore, shit has changed up in a way of, unless we get our kids into this technology and coding and shit like that, we ain't gonna be able to keep up, because it's not about the content and what's the algorithm, what's popular, and what's gonna bring forth this bread.
Right.
Bottom line, ain't no motherfucking message no more, because you don't have to give our kids no message. Give them a couple of dollars.
Technology. Technology.
That's true.
Smartphone, dumb person.
Yeah.
Wow.
Win-win for everybody but us.
Right.
But we're entertained, though, huh? God damn it, that boy can sing.
Wow. So true.
Absolutely. Wow, I never thought about that with the algorithm. That's
Go
true.
watch that YouTube, that Netflix series about this shit, where they sit there and tell you dead in your face. They don't hide nothing. Why you think Illuminati inbox you now? Remember it was a secret?
What's up
I
with
said
that
that
low
to
key?
spin that
Oh,
far as
sure.
nothing that's real matters. As long as you getting that message, your dumb ass gonna look at it. They got you already, cause they clicked on it. So it's gonna be more of that.
You remember they used to say back in the days, you wanna hide something from somebody, put it in a book.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean? That was the thing back then. They
Simple
put it right in your
insight.
face because you're not paying attention to it. You know what I mean? That's the best place to put it, right out front. Some people pay attention, most won't.
Your granny told you the computer was the devil. You thought she was just being mean and didn't want to give you an extra piece of cake.
That is wild. Oh my God, the whole game has changed, everybody. I don't even
It's a
know.
good thing and a bad thing with social media. I mean, I like it because it took you out of the big labels. You don't have to really have them no more. You can market yourself, you can promote yourself.
Shout out to Soulja Boy.
Now, I know, right? But, you know, it's cool to have them for distribution. They can get you into places a little faster than you would probably get yourself. You really don't wanna just wait it out. They can get you in Australia and Dubai and these places a lot faster. Target, you wait in the line, but if you really believe in yourself and your independence, and you ride it out, I think it's a good thing because if you use social media for what it's for, it's an excellent tool.
Yeah.
But if you use it for bullshit, you're gonna be drowning in it.
Double-edged sword.
You know what I mean? Exactly. I think it's a good tool because you don't need nobody. You know what I mean? You can promote yourself, market yourself,
It's the
and make your
beautiful
own
lie.
money. Yeah. I think it's a cool thing if it's used for what it's for. That's what we using it for.
Yeah, I mean, we trying to use the documentary and the soundtrack to show them when Kato was on the banging on wax and all that. It wasn't just, he was just doing that
Rep
then.
your set.
But I'm just saying, cause everybody else was on all of them. I never, to be honest, I ain't listened to neither one of them. My homeboy made me listen to him cause he was getting the show on Rest in Peace.
Right.
I had it cause he was my primer.
Right.
But, so I had to hear it. My nephews had to hear it, and they were like, they wanted to hear it, and so, now, we finna go back as a team and go do the same thing again. And see, what I changed up and did, where I didn't have to hear them old heads, you don't have to say about us now, the old heads, right? We got the youngsters with us to go ahead and balance it with this music.
Right.
So I don't hear all them old heads on there. No, technically, I'll take all my youngsters. I just told my partner Biz the other day, I told the cat, I'll take my youngsters and sit them to the side. The two CEOs of this company, that's with me, Bronco, Kato, you name anybody, and Squeak, I'm gonna take them. There's a whole lot of other OGs with us. I'll take them any day over any of the youngsters. Any day.
Thought process is good.
I'm throwing the challenge out there.
Yeah. Thought
I
process.
promise you, I'll put it on them because I've seen them in action. You know,
The youngsters in action?
no, the old heads,
Oh,
like they
yes,
say.
in action, okay.
So if the old heads feel like let the youngsters do it, we can bring them to the table too. Cause we know we built over here and what we're building. We're confident what we're doing right now, you know, so the soundtrack, I told them get our suits ready. We're going to get Grammy. I'm taking my time with it. That's what I'm not even gonna drop that when I drop the documentary because there's so much music that is gonna be, cause by it going from 1 part to 6, we're talking 13 songs in one, right? You have 13 songs with a 6-part document, can't do it.
Wow.
It's
So-
up to 22 something.
Yeah, and then it's still counting.
It's growing.
Why? Because I know the talent over here, but I'm not just dropping 1, 2, or 3. It's gonna be a few singles because, you know, Fast plugged me with some folks over at the West Coast League, DJs and producers. Shout out to y'all. They messing with us with the project. You know, they wanna help
They're
push
all
the
over the
project.
world.
And they all
They have
over the
D-
world.
They have a DJ system that's set up all over the world.
You know, they invited
Australia.
the team to Jacksonville, Florida this next month.
Jackson.
Jackson for Hip Hop Summit. They're doing.
Wow.
So we trying to mount up to go out that way too, to promote the documentary and the soundtrack. You know, the first thing was out already with June Dog, Mr. Rim, and Shader Matt. It's called West Side Story. It's on all platforms. Right now we're almost at 50,000 streams.
Wow.
So it'll be in circulation once we get the DJ pack together. So, I mean, everything right now is looking good. And we didn't go to nobody to fund this.
Okay. That is beautiful.
We didn't go to nobody to fund. No, can't nobody say they came and said, here goes something. Nobody know. We didn't do it.
All out of our pocket.
I'm gonna tell you why, because when I don't have no money, I call him.
Who's been pretty quiet?
That's,
Yeah.
me and him, we're first cousins. His sister, his mom, my mama first, his sisters,
Oh,
sisters.
wow.
So,
And it's loose,
we've
right?
been, we
Lowe's.
Lowe's.
We've
Okay.
been, you know, so.
Let's hear it, Lois. What you think about this documentary project?
Well, I mean, as far as Stick Gang Media, which is his baby, I mean, I back his love a project for like Stick Gang, as far as the music, for we about manpower, we 200 deep on the street. I mean, from NYC, all the big states, NYC, Texas, ATL, Florida, and so on. So, like I said, it's a man count of 200 people around. And me and a few of the other contests started this, we went through like the Wu-Tang. We wasn't worried about promo. We wasn't worried about being seen. Because I had a deal with Cat Williams. I worked for Cat Williams 7 years, and after the deal didn't go through, I was sort of discouraged from the music. So, you know what I mean? And there was a few youngsters that was under me that was depending on the old heads around, such as me, him, to keep going. So, you know, I mean, I decided to come back and we started Stick Gang, you know, real niggas and real females sticking together, sticking to the script. And from there, you know, he wanted to do something outside of that because we already had like publicists, which is it is part of Stick Gang biz. He write books, he's an author as well. So outside of that, it was only right for him to do Stick Gang Media. You know?
It's all a support thing over here. Everything we do, we support each other at the end of the day, as long as it makes sense. You know, it's because everything takes money. And me and him together and took a whole lot of losses, trying this and trying this. You know, I watched them go on with Cat.
I had $1 million deal that didn't go through. You know, I don't even talk about it. You know what I mean? I've been in movies. I've been in a lot of stuff, but I don't talk about it.
Tell me why you don't talk about it.
It's called a humble hustle.
And to me, and the way I think in my mind, it was a failure to me. You know what I mean? I didn't progress. I didn't put 2 foot started. That's why I was discouraged away from the music. Other than that, I felt it was a disconnect between the older heads and the young people. So that's really why I came back for the music part. And it started from there and led to what he's trying to do with it, what he's doing with it.
You know, I'm listening to your story. I'm so motivated and proud and excited to hear it. And I think, you know, you are all accomplished men, right? That can provide mentoring and support for our listeners. And here at the BOJ show, we talk a lot about community and development. And so there's a question that I have is, there's this old folk saying, the old heads, right? Talk about black people being crabs in a barrel. Have you guys ever heard that?
Yeah,
that's right.
But everything I've heard from you today is about sticking together, about being a family, about uplifting and supporting, right?
Yes.
How do you share with other individuals or other communities that we don't have to be classified as crabs in a barrel?
I'm gonna start with this first with that. You ever notice when we used to hold people accountable? We don't do it no more, so they keep doing the same stupid shit over and over and over and over again. To me, it's time for us to start holding everybody accountable. We can't overlook nothing no more. We failed the kids. We failed the kids. Let's just say we're gonna say that. We failed them because we didn't do them like we was done. You know, that's why they go into guns and all that now. All of us in there, we had to go in the backyard and knuckle up. We weren't scared to take our ass open and come back tomorrow. You know, we weren't scared to get the bus and lift the black eye. They scared to say, I took a loss, so they're gonna kill you, go to jail, and they're gonna snitch. See, that's the new thing now. That's what's crazy, that it's okay to snitch. You know, I'm not all that, I don't get into far as the snitching, because they call a lot of people snitches, and once you hear the story, it had nothing to do with snitching. You feel me? But you got the ones that's doing things, knowing that you ain't coming home, and they don't have guns in jail. So you can't use these, you lost when you go there. You feel me? So, I know me and him, we had uncles that, hey, Every morning, we got points for nothing. But we grew up knowing that we had to use them. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, even when you was a little kid though, your mama
Sweet.
used to tell
Come in.
you, don't nobody like a tattletale.
That's
And if they hit you, hit them back.
Yeah, you know. No, listen, hey, I'm glad you said that, Kato.
I'm gonna raise my hand and I'm gonna ask, can I input?
Hold on, watch this. Let me say one thing. You know what, since you said that, I was like telling them, they confuse the kids. You go to school,
Sweet.
you get into a fight, you get suspended. You can't defend yourself.
You're
Or you
talking
get
about
sus-
now or you're
Yes,
talking
now.
about then?
You get suspended. We could defend ourselves back in the day, long as we use our feet and all that. Well, now they saying, don't tell when you're being bullied. We got kids killing themselves now because you can't go tell or one or the other. So they're confused. The kids are totally confused. Look, I'm gonna stop for a second because like I said, it's about us. Squeaked and popped in the building.
Oh
my
God. Hey.
You know,
What's happening?
you know,
with it?
Mr. Mayor.
The mayor of Inglewood, right here.
Man, all doing it.
That's right, man.
Council.
You know, it was cool because when I went to all these cats, when he made the phone call and I started going to them and they, oh yeah, we working. It was more of a blessing because me and him been doing music so long, it's like God had a different plan. You know, he didn't have to deal when he did this where everything didn't come together. It didn't came together now because we did this, nobody came and helped us do it. You know, so I'm glad he came on board, glad he came on, glad. And it's like now, they should see, in the room right now, we got Bloods and Crips. Why we can't do this everywhere?
Right. But you started that movement.
You feel me? Why?
I do.
You feel me? So, we can't say it can't be done, because they're not dumb. They're not dumb to the fact, I mean, you always say, well, they're holding us back, the white. I told my daughter, I said, I don't hear that. Because if you keep saying that to me, you are dumb. If you're saying that they're holding you back, you're smarter than that. You know, we've been saying that for years, right? I can't get a job this way. No, because I had a young lady out there on the coast. I watched her go from, and you know, Menominee out there is Latinos and Caucasians, and her name is JoJo. She went from working in the kitchen in the hospital to now she's with the surgeons. I don't want to hear it. I watched it. From nothing, from the kitchen all the way up. Now she's sitting with the Lord. She getting bread. It's bought her a house. You know what I'm saying? So I don't even want to hear what that can't be done and all that I've seen it been done before.
But that leads us to what your cousin talked about, inspiration, right? So the question is, how do you keep being inspired? And particularly I'm interested as black men in a society that continually discounts you, suppresses you, and pushes you down. How do you continue that inspiration to move forward and to succeed?
It goes back to your upbringing.
Yeah.
Your homies that we grew up with. That it's you know, it's the homies that we grew up with, the same people that they call a gang. You know, when I was a youngster, if we couldn't come in our neighborhood before 3:30. My homies would throw us in the car and drop us off in front of school and say, don't come over here before 3:30. You know what I mean? So my inspiration comes from my homies. My inspiration comes from these little babies because it's all about them now. You know what I'm saying? We gotta leave this place in better shape than what it was when we got here. That's my goal. You know what I mean? So my inspiration comes from when I see Crips and Bloods in the same room, when we changing the narrative, when we doing things that they said we couldn't do. They said we wouldn't live long. They said we wasn't good fathers. They said a lot of things about us, but we prove them wrong every single day. You know what I mean? So that's my inspiration.
Personally, for me, they go all the way back to the slave ship. You know, we've been going through it, so any obstacle, you know, all the struggles, we always seem to get through it, you know what I'm saying? We keep riding the wave. So when I look back at my ancestors, you know, think about those who, you know what I'm saying, gave their lives up on those slave ships, then, you know, I'm thinking about my grandparents who went through that civil rights struggle. So, you know, you think about the things that they went through and the hardship that they had to go through, you know.
This is easy.
All they doing is, they pass the fight on to us and we have to keep going with it, you know what I'm saying? So that's what I stay inspired by, you know. So, you know, even though, you know, a lot of us been gang affiliated, you know, you know, and was misguided at once. So when we get together and or able to put away the nonsense and realize how strong we are once we unite, you know, that's an inspiration in itself, you know. So you know, just really to set an example for the next generation. You know what I'm saying? Because the fight is just beginning. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We haven't really got. We ain't got really knee deep in it, you know what I'm saying? I think we failed to realize that because I hear a lot of times, well, they ain't doing nothing for us, or they don't do nothing. Nah, man, the fight is just, it's just getting started.
They say it in Hollywood all the time, the show must go on.
This is Bronco,
In the
by the
theater,
way.
the show must go on.
Yes,
So in
must
real
go on.
life, you know, we on the stage of real life, so we have individuals that are in their most impressionable stages, which is the youth that is in the generation behind us. So we don't properly guide them by our steps because they watch our moves. It's more than just you tongue lashing them or saying mean things to them in hopes that it get through to them. You have to show them by example. And some kids, you have to hold their hand and walk them through it. For fear of failure, they don't want to disappoint the people that they care most about. I don't want to disappoint my grandmother. She's been in the ground for a little bit, but still, I care about the essence of how she raised me and stuff like that. So we grew up in these different areas, and when we say big homie or something like that, that's an older guy in the neighborhood who his little brother's in my age bracket, but I didn't have an older brother, so he shared his older brother with me. So that's how we got these big homies, these older guys that aren't blood related to us, that care about us and check us and put us in check when they see us doing stuff. It's out of concern for that person. You know, you can't care about everybody, can't save everybody, but those that will adhere to what you're saying, you have a soft spot in your, a tender part in your heart for them.
And that also is what I say the stigma is about people of the gang culture. The energy of our aggressive existence is based on the love of family and survival, not predatory attacks. We did not all join the alliance of our community to be predators and attack each other. We joined it because we love each other. We've been hurt by seeing things happening from other places, and we bound together to protect ourselves. It was an aggressive existence based on love and family, not on killing each other. So the kids get stories thinking we kill each other. They only pump up the songs that talk about killing each other. But the whole basis of us joining together had, if we join in, we must love each other and rock.
Right. For sure.
But they done smothered the motherfucking roots so tough, motherfuckers can't tell right from wrong or left from right.
And you know, it is really, I've said this a lot of times, they use the term, we are bastards of the party, of the Black Panther Party, right? Because Bloods and Crips didn't initially start out to be enemies towards each other. And I'm doing this right now. If you ask 98% of the guys who are gang affiliated right now, what's the beef between Bloods and Crips? They can't even tell you.
They couldn't tell you.
And we all guilty of it. We just signed, we signed up for something not knowing. But really it was based on, we were a group of guys you was just protecting your neighborhood. That's it.
We assemble, and we're the ones that'll fight back. Everybody ain't gonna fight back. Everybody ain't gonna shoot back. Everybody gonna pick up a brick and throw it. Everybody gonna break a window. But there's some of us that are gonna fight back like that. Every slave wasn't submissive. Some of them was getting whipped. That's where them
More Tobys than one.
Right. It was
That's the one
more
that blew up
cool
the
to
ship.
Kemptes than you think.
That
So.
part, on that turn and
Right, I
turn.
probably would've y'all have been mad at me.
He's trouble. You gotta get him out the
plantation.
ship before
Y'all
we
have been mad at me
touch
trying to rough me up. 'Cause I'd have kept getting us some little ass whooping. 'Cause I'm defiant as shit when it comes to that type of shit. So I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
I'd have been told they'd have been
the
chopped
line
off.
of those guys that ain't going for the massive
You're not
shit.
going for that.
Shoeless
No, ma'am.
Exactly.
I'm a prove. Here's a point I'm gonna prove, right? See how intelligent y'all intelligent motherfuckers, bro.
Thank you, sir.
When I first
Yes,
met
they are.
you on the phone, I was like, what the fuck?
Oh,
But
it's
I want to show the
very
world
articulate.
that how a change is. He'd have been in prison, right?
Right.
You'd have been in prison.
I have to.
You'd have been in prison. You'd have been in prison.
Nah, I ain't been to prison.
My
You
point
ain't
is,
missing nothing. We went for you.
I know. No, but look.
But
I
they
can tell
love
you
you in there,
everything
nigga.
about it. But I ain't been on no, I've been on had my county jail stints, but I ain't never been on no.
They said
Why I'm
it's
saying
the
it-
county, they
why I'm
go.
saying it because you wouldn't know walking into this door
Right.
how y'all just sounded. So all these years, we wasn't shit. They didn't understand y'all some intelligent cats. You feel what I'm
We didn't have a
saying?
voice.
They've been beating y'all so much with the words that they never took time to say, hold on, let's talk with him and see What's up there?
In history, gangsters have always been intelligent.
Absolutely.
You can't survive
You
that
have
culture.
to be a
You
successful
know what I'm saying?
gangster.
They've always been intelligent. My mother and father, my father was a thug, my mother was a Christian. Went to church every Sunday, never cussed, drank, smoked, none of that. My father was pistols, you know, the whole nine. And I've never even seen my parents argue before, ever. They probably never did it in front of me. My father always opened doors for my mama. They always laugh, have fun, and enjoy each other's company. You know what I'm saying?
And you come from a
You watch
music
love,
background,
so we
right?
ain't,
And
we
my
ain't
mother
eating
told
peanut
me,
butter barefoot
if you
walking
gonna run
around
the
hurting.
streets, if you gonna do what you gonna do, be smart, be intelligent.
That part.
You know what I'm saying? You can't survive where we come from walking these yards. I did 10 years, 8 months in prison, besides 3 years in youth authority in Salone. It's no guarantee when you go to prison that you're coming home. You know what I mean? It's like a chess game. All of this is a chess game. And whoever taught you how to play chess, that's how you're gonna wind up. You know what I mean? And yeah, you got brothers who go to prison and go to college, become lawyers. You know what I mean? We grew up with very, very intelligent black men. You know what I mean? But you got good and bad, you got exceptions to every rule.
Yeah.
We got homies that, you know, didn't quite make it, don't quite get it, but we love them anyway because at the end of the day, them are people. We all black folks and we all got it there.
As you get older, you start knowing who to follow behind, who not.
Exactly.
You have both positive
Yeah,
and
you got
negative
positive and
examples.
negative.
You got certain,
Yeah.
every person exudes a certain amount of qualities from them. So you pick out what you like and you try to incorporate that within yourself and exude that from yourself in your day-to-day stuff, in your conversation, the way you treat people, the way you know, the same, I'm gonna treat your grandmother the same as I treat my grandmother. Yes, ma'am, I'm gonna pull my pants up and all that. You know, your grandmother is my grandmother. It's time to get somebody a plate. I'm gonna get your grandmother a plate too.
Yes.
Cut her
But do you
grass,
think
take
that
her
maybe
trash out.
grandmothers-
And I'm not gonna steal her avocados.
Right.
that
Take the trash out.
grandmothers from
Real talk.
from the South and from the past,
Absolutely.
I think have been lost.
Absolutely.
I think sometimes the grandmother is in the club with the
She's
mother.
35 now.
Well, that's now.
Yeah.
She's at the
Now-
GS.
See,
And
there-
then-
Grandma's at the district. and no drink.
Lori, they took discipline out.
Grandma getting drank right now at the dispensary and drinking, smoking Marathon OG right now.
They took-
Grandma clapping
they
her
took-
ass.
they took
She don't
dis-
even wanna be called grandma. She wanna be
Grandma.
called grandma, anything
Nana.
but granny. She don't wanna be a
They
granny.
took
Gigi, all that.
Gigi, yeah,
They
Gigi.
took this.
Susan.
Nana, everything but grandma.
G-Ma.
Right?
Don't call me nothing, just talk to me.
I got
Just say what you got to say. Don't call me
grandmas
shit.
now, cause I'm a grandma.
But you're not up in the club.
But I'm not up in the club, but I am a grandma.
Salute
But I'm called
just a
Nana.
week ago.
I'm not down
I'm
with
grand cuz. I'm grand cuz. I can't lie.
I'm a
I'm
grandma.
grand
Go ahead, Pat.
No, I was just saying that they took discipline out the home. See, one thing that we all have in common is when we came up, most of us in here probably got our ass whooped.
For
You know what
sure,
I'm saying?
Leather belts.
for sure.
So when you
Our switches, right?
when you
They-
tell, we might have threatened to call
Grandma braided
police
them together.
on our mama, and she'll give you the phone and be like, go ahead. You know what I mean? When you take away a person's ability to discipline their kids, even in the Bible, I mean, I'm not a Christian, but I know in the Bible it says, spare the rod, spoil the child, or something like that. You have to learn discipline, especially at a young age. You know what I mean? And that's what a gang culture taught us also, was discipline.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was right and wrong, there's certain things you can and can't do, and there was consequences behind those things.
You got DP, did something.
DP,
Now, when you was talking earlier about snitching, I have a problem with snitching because it's bigger than just that.
Yeah.
When you and another man decide to go out and do something together,
Yep.
and y'all get caught, it's about being a man and standing on your consequence. Being a man is accepting your consequences of your actions.
Accepting
You know why
I'm
I
not
said
gonna
that?
send him to jail
Hey.
and I wanna be free. He wanted to be free and play with his kids and all of that too.
Fact, you know why I
You know what
said
I'm
that? You
So
know why I said that?
let me add to that. Hold on, let me add to that. They put this stigma on snitching as if it's this thing, and it is. But snitching don't apply to a civilian. If you're a regular
No.
law-abiding citizen, and you giving up your input on what's going on, that's not called snitching. That's doing your law-abiding citizen thing. But if you live under the culture, then there are certain codes of conduct that you have to adhere to. Okay, so let me stop right there and say, even the United States government has a gag order. So it ain't cool to snitch under no circumstances.
Absolutely. And then you got the Fifth Amendment.
Even the government know that.
Right.
Okay? The first
That's
thing
why
that
they
people
don't
say
respect
to any one of y'all that done told on any one of your partners, off with your head, they told you before they tackled you, you have the right to shut the fuck up.
Right,
Right.
absolutely.
Okay? Anything you say, we're gonna fuck over you with that.
That part.
Okay? So you knew what the job was dangerous when you took it.
accept the consequences of your actions.
Absolutely. You know why I
Being a
said
man.
I went to jail in 93, 92, and I caught a case in 91. I took it to trial, I won it. The next year I caught another one, they gave me a year. So while I'm in jail, I'm like, shit, I ain't gonna stop doing what I'm doing. I gotta figure this shit out. Right? So I said, all right. First time I went to jail with 19 of us.
Way too many.
10 of us was family members. Second time it was 13 of us. I said, dummy, stop going to the club with all the dope dealers.
That's a lot of crime.
That's a lot of crime.
Right? That was my first mistake. The motherfucker who snitched on me was with us every day.
I see Taz.
Have drove my mom to the store.
You can't tell,
Feel me?
they can't tell what they don't
So
know. They got
when I
it.
get out of jail, I corrected. Then I figured, well, I'm gonna give me a female, because I'd rather argue with her about me going to the club than argue with the CO about me getting up.
Look
Okay.
at JD. JD did 28 because he kept his fucking mouth shut.
Exactly. And see,
28 years.
so when I get out, I got out still doing my thing. I did it by myself.
That part, see?
And I did it to
You
where
got away with it too.
told the homies, I'm gonna go get it, y'all stay here. Everybody don't need to do that. Right? I stayed out of jail. So now I'm a snitch. Because you got the closet smokers. He say he sell dope, but he's smoking. Right? And the bitches is telling on these niggas, they don't know it. I stood so far away because I knew what I was doing. I'm from LA. Out there, they was still square to it. I check myself, I don't need you to check me. Feel me? He been going to jail since he was 17. I was with him when he caught his first case. He went from camp, he was the first one ever broke away from Santa Barbara camp, and he jumped a mountain to do that. Feel me? They called moms and was like, Carlos has escaped.
Again.
And,
Again.
hold up. And then they said, well, we thought we had him at the top of the mountain, and he jumped.
I call those fucked up. What about that tree you was talking about?
Hey,
Apocalypse.
got to where he was going on a broke ankle and called moms. They didn't give him no extra time. Why I'm telling this story because I'm a snitch because I don't want to keep going back to jail.
Right.
I know who I am in my skin. So that should never bother me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why I said it about snitching. They take snitching and they flip it and make it what they want.
A nigga cannot like your goddamn shirt you got on and say you a snitch.
Exactly.
You cannot pick a nigga up, take him somewhere, snitch ass,
Yeah.
bitch ass. It's just become a thing.
Exactly.
So
You
true.
feel me?
It's in season.
Oh, nah,
Exactly.
nigga snitching.
You know, it's
Fuck, I don't even break the law.
And I left, when I left here and went out there, all the cats I was with from here, and we formed a clique called IBM, Illegal Businessmen. It was Bloods and Crips out there. We all came together then, right? So it just shows you that it still can be done here. If niggas come together, say, let's get this money.
Right.
Because in a minute, if you kill you, you kill him, he kill him, when they come to get us as a group, we ain't got nobody to turn to. We ain't got nobody. You feel what I'm saying? So we gotta change that, and we done already started. You feel what I'm saying? We got to, because we failed them that. We failed these youngsters. I'm gonna say we failed y'all because we started doing our thing.
We didn't groom them like we was groomed.
Exactly, because we was, I know I was groomed. You know you was groomed.
I mean, but when we've been when our daddy's been taken out the home and replaced with Section 8 and crystal stairs and we'll give a woman every type of help as long as you ain't got no nigga.
That part
There's
right
no
there.
inspiration to have no man around or even make nothing
'Cause
work.
I
or
don't
even
need no
have
nigga for
compromise, no
nothing.
interview. Because you will not get no help
You know my
from
problem?
this. Well, let me
Right,
let me
right,
lay.
right. No, that's
You will
some
not
real
get no
shit.
help from this system if it's a strong black man
And that's
in that
the shit.
motherfucking home.
Yep.
Cause we gonna get on his ass like
Claudine,
right.
Claudine.
But no.
That is
And they start becoming that, so if you
No.
$27 a month rent,
No.
hell yeah, I pay my bills. They
Well,
got
no.
$14.
He go to cold part though. I need his social security number.
Your
Oh,
kids
I'm
gotta
gonna
put me
charge him
out.
with
You
all
can't
this.
put me out.
That's the goal.
I need his social because you know why? All this we giving up, all this
He got to
welfare we
run us
giving
that
up,
back.
He's gonna have to pay
Charge
for
him
it.
for it.
Now when he can't pay for it, now he has no credit, none of that. You know what I'm
Taking
saying?
part of his check.
And he gonna have his child support on him. where he ain't gonna be able to get a job, none of that. You know what I'm saying? He ain't gonna have no license, all that, they come with all that, and he ain't even getting nothing out of it.
So the ones, we got failed, and we the ones trying to pick it up, these brothers in this room. We recognize where the failure was systematically. In some cases where the father, I mean, you know, in New York, a nigga live across the street from his son won't fuck with him.
That's so true.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Sure.
let's not just sit there and think that black men sat up there and said, you pregnant and bumped the fuck out on some thanks for my child shit. These women were so rewarded, that generation of women was rewarded so much of these programs and these, we'll watch them for you to 6 goddamn o'clock.
Yep.
They gotta be in bed by 8 and back to school by 7.
Right.
You don't even know your kid.
There's a false sense of accomplishment that comes with that for them, and it turns into sass. So the sass, a certain kind of sassiness is not tolerated because you don't have to give me that hot lip right there because you see me as throw me in the trash because I don't have all of the finances to knock off all of the things on your invisible list of things. Every girl has an invisible list, from the wedding dress all the way down to who the bridesmaids is. When she's in elementary, in the sandbox, she know that. We don't have all that figured out, y'all. We don't even know where we gonna get our lunch money from.
Off the yearn
if y'all
for a
think
black
that we
family.
got this thing already,
They don't yearn
fixed,
to have it.
we don't. So when you looking at every man and then you passing that same list of demands down to the next generation of girls, look at my son. Look what he got to deal with when he's a good kid. He's up against this attitude that he got to deal with. And then he's on punishment. He can't even get no hugs, no kisses, no affection, nothing, because he ain't got no ice cream truck money. He ain't supposed to have your ice cream truck money. He supposed to have his ice cream truck money. Because his money and your money, y'all got money together. You ain't supposed to just spend your money, and his money, y'all money. No. Hell no. He ain't learned that from me. He ain't even gonna settle for nobody like that just because she got the olive colored skin and she backed them eyelashes. He ain't going for it.
Because society.
You know what's crazy?
It gotta be more than just you shoot to get past my son.
They confused now. They confused because now it's you work too much.
Yeah,
Fuck
you get penalized for working too much.
And you want the one that we can't. And you want the one that we can't afford.
And then if you don't have a job, you ain't shit. So which one you want to be? Not shit.
Are we talking about black women? I'm sorry.
We're talking about the profiles and the stigma in our culture, community. To where that's the thought process now, and then you might meet a genuine article kind of woman that has some substance and might have loved her daddy. I used to tell my little brother, man, if she don't love her daddy, brother, or uncle, you ain't got no win.
That part right
Because
there.
her thing about men is bigger than you. You can't fix anybody because they don't know they or think they're broken. Because you're broken, ain't they broken? They can survive off that kind of brokenness. I can't survive not getting hugged and told I love you because I was raised like that.
Right.
For sure.
So yeah, I'm irritated if motherfucker don't give me no chicken shit hug.
So mom's gave me all the hugs I needed, but I didn't get that from Pop. So I give it to my sons. I tell them I love them. We go sit there. We have movie night. We pop popcorn and all that. I take them to school every chance I get because I can't remember my
Because the Pepsi generation recognizing we trying to fix it.
Right.
That's right.
The Snapple Pepsi generation, we trying to fix it. We can't do nothing with the energy drink niggas, but trying to get their attention right now. And we begging for it.
And the funny
we
part about it
begging
is
for it.
we're
You know
trying
what
to
I'm
fix
saying?
something that wasn't fucked up by us necessarily. We was brought up in the fucked upness, and we trying to fix a previous generation's fuck up.
You know what
Not
I'm
our
saying?
fuck up that we fixing. We fixing a previous generation's fuck up that we were brought up in.
Right.
And we recognize the damage that it's doing and has done and what it can do to the generations that in posterity where we'll never meet these kids that's in our lineage. It's gonna be certain residents on top of the planet that's gonna occupy the planet. It's gonna be their place to stay when we're not here no more. You gotta make sure they're in the right frame of mind to be in a social setting to survive through that, whatever they're gonna go through. If they can cause a pandemic, they can cause a purge. Who you think y'all gonna go to? Y'all that don't bank. Who y'all think y'all gonna go to when it's like the purge? You gonna go to us rowdy motherfuckers to save.
What's the name of this new generation?
The same ones you was frowning at and discouraging your daughter to date is gonna be the one you're gonna be like, you can have apple pie over here if you bring all your guns over here.
What's the name of the new generation?
So there's a double standard to that. You don't recognize the value in the ones that you
What's
put
the new
down.
generation called?
Generation Gen Z.
Gen Z.
What is it now? Gen Z?
One thing that I do love about this young generation that's coming up now is they
Gen
fear
Y.
you.
Absolutely.
And they don't care if you black, white, gay, straight. They don't care about none of that. You know what I mean? And that right there is, if there's any chance of anything being changed, that will change.
You know what's crazy?
You know
You
what I
said
mean?
that my son came home, he was like 6. He said, Dad, what's a nerd?
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's
You
fucked
ain't
up.
even on that.
In my head, I'm saying, we gave a motherfucker a name. And I gotta explain this to my son what a fucking nerd is. So when I told him, I said,
I was a nerd.
everybody equal.
Probably a lot of us
No,
wanted to be nerds.
we ain't gonna use
Yeah.
that word. So it make you think, damn, how did we just all of a sudden give a smart motherfucker a name?
Cause the nerds, we call them the nerds in school, we wind up seeing them on TV when they
Thank
got
you.
older.
With $1 million.
I'll tell you what I told him. I told him this. The nerd is the guy that gets clowned and teased when he's a kid. He's withdrawn from everybody. He don't have a whole lot of friends, but he ends up with the car you wanted when y'all get grown. He ends up with that badass wife in the bed with him. And he was Pee Wee Herman when y'all grew up. But he got all that Tony Stark shit now. And every cool nigga that was like Arthur Fonzarelli is either on dope or on parole or in a bad situation where he got to give up most of his check because he's living in some kind of housing situation because his decisions wasn't right.
But isn't it
He was the cool nigga though.
That's that real
He was the Arthur Fonzarelli. He was the Fonz when they was growing up.
Or
And
he-
the other dude
or
that
he
got all
wanted
that
to
Tony
police
Stark
car.
shit was Pee Wee Herman.
Some of them
Now
wanted
look
to
how
be
the
police
tables
cars,
turned.
too.
But isn't
And,
it ironic?
and the pretty girl love his nerdy ass though. She ain't gonna pretend to love your ugly ass because you got some money and when you ain't got no bread, she out of here. She don't really love the nerd guy. In the broke days, she gonna love him too. He can still squeeze booty and all that. The nigga who she fucking with cause he just got bread, he on punishment from all that shit until he get another bag.
Isn't it ironic though that people from like good neighborhoods and privileged lifestyles, when they rebel and do shit bad, it's like, oh yeah, he being bad, this and that. And people from low income and bad neighborhoods, they're almost a rebel by doing good. How the fuck do we get rid of that like stigma? It's like, oh, you know, he too good for us. He from the hood, but he doing this, you know, When people from rich neighborhoods, literally, they're rebels, you know what I mean, by going to the hood and this and that. And people from the hood try to get the fuck out.
One word.
And now they're like, oh, well, they really from the hood. They trying to do this or that. That's horrible.
One word, integrity.
Yeah.
We took the value out of that shit. Every hero we got and every person we felt that was the shit because they went against whatever system is they went against because they had integrity about what they believed in. And once we start shutting down integrity, we start shutting down the ingredients of individualized thinking and going against the grain. Because fear is running, fear and being broke is what everybody's running from right now.
But I wanna put a word on the table. Prison pipeline. Okay? I think that speaks a lot to what you say about why can the privilege be considered fuck-ups and the underprivileged or the inner city low income be considered a threat?
Yeah.
Because there's tons of money, gentlemen, and you all know this.
Billions.
Billions in prisons. So who the fuck is gonna go to prison? Who's gonna go?
Not them.
Well, you gotta keep the beds full.
If they have
You
these
gotta
same-
keep
You
them
gotta keep
beds
them beds
full,
full.
right?
But they
And why
got-
do we do that? Why are children, have you ever stopped to think about this? Children in public schools, right? Black children are suspended 3 to 5 times more than white children, right? Children in inner city schools, black, brown, white, yellow, whatever they are, if it's inner city, their suspension rate doubles compared to schools in higher income
There are
areas.
schools they don't even
Right?
suspend.
Why? Somebody got to sleep in their
Their mom's
prison.
paying too much money
And
to
let me
tell
tell
them
you
they
this.
can't come to school.
I'm 40 years old, so I grew up through the 80s and 90s, 80s, baby. My family's black. I was adopted when I was a kid, okay? I was suspended from high school when my family would start rumbles. Period. I know something's gonna happen. There's gonna be some retaliation. So you gotta go with them. You know what I mean? My family back in the day called me danger. I don't hide from white privilege. I know I'm white, and you know what? I'm proud to be me. But I know where the fuck I grew up.
Hey, he can do beats like a motherfucker. I
Hey,
ain't
but
gonna lie.
look, I'm blessed to have the cultural, diversity that I had, right? And they always call me danger because there's a fact. They were like, you gonna go places that literally we can't. It's been proven for hundreds of years, right?
Indeed.
So they call me danger. That was my name growing up. I was danger, because I was dangerous. But as soon as the system found that out, high school, middle school, shit like that, anything would happen to my family, I was done too. I wouldn't even be there. I'd be like, ditch school. I'd come back, oh no, you're suspended. You didn't see the rumble that happened? You know what I mean? Like boom, boom, boom. So again, it comes back to what we were talking about earlier. They want it to fit a certain agenda.
I agree with
And a
you.
narrative, and a, you know, like no matter who the fuck it is, it's still gotta fit. And you know what, you white, we still gonna make it fit, period.
Absolutely.
Because they don't really care about color. They only use that color, they throw that on us to keep us separated.
Well, they care about color when something is actually really going wrong.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then they can be like, oh, it's because, you know, boom, boom,
I'm saying
boom.
as far as we're filling up prison cells.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
When it
Yeah,
comes to
but they
certain
don't care what
things,
color.
they don't care about
There's a
color.
lot of Peckerwoods in prison.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because it's about money.
Yeah.
There you
You
go.
know what I mean? Because you have poor whites that they don't care about either.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah, I've been to them county jail, they court, them bunk court run. Your name come through they gotta keep the bus full.
Yeah,
You go in there, you sit in the whole thing all day.
The bump
I ain't
run.
got no.
Dry run.
Yeah, dry run.
It was like,
I ain't got no court date, but I need the bus
I
full.
need that bus
it was like
full.
a couple $100 runs right there.
Hot burrito, baby.
You ain't complaining, you just want to get out the cell.
Anyway.
God,
Well,
I didn't know you
gentlemen,
were
this has
white, man.
been such a.
Yeah, you know.
Dyer is white.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know
I told y'all he wasn't white, he light skinned. I got light skinned cousins in my son.
He's life-skinned.
Light skinned. I like that, light
He ain't white.
skinned.
There's a difference in white and light skinned. There's a
It
difference.
is. Well, gentlemen, this has been an incredible show, And I do have one last question for all of you before we begin to wrap up. We have a show that comes on right after us, so we've got about maybe 6 minutes left. I would like to know, of this project that you're working on, what is the thing you are most proud of?
That, first off, when I got, when he called one of his partners with the West Coast Fleet, they picked it up. It's hard to get music on the radio. That's another problem I don't like. They dictate what people want to hear. So when he plugged me with them, and I did an interview with them, they jumped on board like that. That door opened so swell, and to see all of these guys, at the end of the day, come aboard, I appreciate it 100, because they could have said, nah, I ain't with this shit. You feel me? And I want us, as a whole team, to walk away to have something for our kids. Everybody else is eating, why can't we? He been in the system with this music. He been in the system with this music. Why nobody ain't still pushing them that's in the industry? All of them got homies in the industry. Okay, so why?
The homies that's in the industry ain't platinum, we are.
And I gotta say one thing, it'll take 30 seconds.
Okay.
My brother Cato brought me in, right? They came one night to one of my studios. Some of the people that put me on was him, Binky Mac, Big Hutch, Laylon Gomac. So Brother Law, they really put me on back in the day, had my back like it was nothing. Cato, I've known for a little bit, he brought me in on this project. When they all came to one of my studios, it was like we had already done the whole project there. It was like, this was already a team before they even showed up to my fucking house. I mean, my studio, right? And to see, even since I've been on this project, where it's gone from there, shows the integrity of the whole movement. And that has been amazing to see. Like, absolutely amazing. There was no questions asked. It was like, this is what we doing, not what we doing, this is what we do. And I think the actions of what all these brothers have done was an amazing to see. Even in the short time period that I've been in this movement,
Right.
It's been crazy.
I made this about
I'm
us.
sorry.
It's not about
Absolutely,
me.
you definitely feel that.
And
It's
because
about the collective.
I was
Yeah,
glad to
come
hear.
on board.
I was glad to hear Squeak Brew came along because he's somebody that I admire from afar because this is a dude who's always been known as a stomp down Paru, but he's been doing running with Crips and Bloods and doing his thing, rapping with Ice Cube. So this page we on now, he was light years ahead with that already.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So when I heard him come on and different people that we had come on with it, that lets me know we was on the right page. You know what I mean? Because to get a person like him, his respect enough where he say, you know what, I like what y'all doing, that name hold weight. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that shows us that we on the right page and we doing the right thing.
Man, I appreciate that love, man.
I'm working on my name. It's doing push-ups right now, so my name can carry a little bit of weight too. I'm working, my name doing a few push-ups right now.
You
So
working it out.
I'm doing push-ups and dips with my name so it can carry a little bit of weight.
No, but I like, you know what, I just like to see brothers unite, you know what I'm saying? And this music has taken me places that I never thought I would go, even in the city, neighborhoods I never thought I was going to. It's gave me it's just opened up the doors for so much. And I always use this term, I say, you from where you from, because that's where you landed at, you know what I'm saying? Your parents never picked it out, well, I'm gonna move over here so my son can be a blood, or he can be a crip. That's just where you happen to land at, and that's the brotherhood you built in those neighborhoods. But in all those neighborhoods, we all the same dude.
But I knew that, like, when I came home from prison, I put myself through, I went to LACC, did 2 years there, started working at UCLA, put myself through school. Now, at school one time, we had a show, Ice Cube performed. He was there, Mac 10 was there, you probably don't remember, it was back in the day. K-Mac was on stage. So I watched the interaction between him and K-Mac, and he's different, and for me to see it live, I was like, okay, they genuinely rock with each other. Like, these dudes are really friends.
Right.
It ain't just something you seeing on TV.
Right.
They on stage, him and K-Mac on stage laughing and going back and forth and doing their thing. And then you up here with Ice Cube, who was, what he represents, you know what I mean? So when you see that, it makes you say, damn, it can happen. You know what I mean?
It's crazy. I met him and Binky Mac, and I'm telling you, they both put their arm around me and was like, let's go. And literally, the reason I'm here is because of these brothers right here.
Oh,
Real talk.
I've been waiting to see. What's the DJ name of Santa Barbara? He said, Axe Squeak. The Miz.
Oh, the Miz,
He said, Axe Squeak about me and him, didn't call me back.
Yeah, the Miz is around.
He said,
That's my partner, man.
So gentlemen, we have about 2 minutes left before we have to go, but I'll get you, Kato, I do want to find out, is it January that the documentary's coming out?
New Year's Day.
Okay.
New Year's Day, unless something, but
New Year's
it's
Day.
New Year's
Now, I
Day.
need a
Exactly.
commitment from you guys that you're gonna come back, talk about it after the release, and
With the
hang out
cameras.
with us here.
You got it.
Yes?
Absolutely.
Do a
You gonna
whole-
give me
you know what?
exclusive
We
to
do a
the
whole
update
reality show, the whole
Absolutely.
episode.
That part right there, Kato.
Yeah.
There we go.
You know what?
Episode.
There we go.
Anything
All
we
right.
do, we come in here.
Thank you.
Y'all
Okay,
family.
all
Y'all
right.
family, we rock
Yes.
each other hard.
Well, we love you
You know
big
what, I
much.
just wanted to say this, about January 1st and the project. January 1st is, me and my sister's dear mother's birthday.
That's my birthday too.
We talking about numbers again. We talking about numbers again.
There you go.
Jen, she left us, Squeak in, 2018, she
Okay.
transitioned. And so January 1st had been a little bit of a rickety struggle for Sissy and I. But to the grace of God and for you gentlemen, thank you so much for this project. So now we have some
I have
positive to
something
look
excited
forward
to
to.
look forward
Not,
to.
not only that, we're gonna
And
celebrate
your
my
birthday now,
birthday.
keep
Yes,
up.
yes, that's the
Absolutely,
day.
that's the date, I'm gonna hold you all
Yes.
to it.
Come on.
So what we're gonna do now is Rasheed's gonna play some music for us, but I need all of you to stand in front of this beautiful mirror and take pictures with the poetess reign, right? We got our social media going. Thank you again so much. We appreciate it.
Stick gang.
God knows, Stick Gang worldwide.
Thank you.
There we go.
I appreciate you
All
guys
right.
rolling with me tonight, hanging out.
Uh-oh, that's my song right there.
There we go. I'm gonna start cleaning up, all right? Can you snap some photos for her?
Yeah, hold on.
Hey guys, we did it.
Take your pictures.
I love you all. What's up?